In every democratic society, security of life and properties is the primary responsibility of the government. But in a situation where the government cannot protect its citizenry, this can result to anarchy. Hello, welcome to another interesting edition of Democracy in Action. My name is Comfort Olayinka. In today's program, we will be focusing on state of the insecurity and other issues. Honorable Uzoma Nkem Abonta. It may interest you to know that Honorable Abonta is a legal practitioner and has also sponsored so many bills, including the popular bill to conclude Ajakuta Bill. Stay tuned as I bring my guests to you. Just joining us, this is Democracy in Action, and my name is Comfort Olayinka. My guest today is a member of the House of Representatives, is in person of Honorable Uzoma Nkem Abonta, representing the good people of Ukwa East West Federal Constituency of Abia State. You're welcome to our program, Honorable Sir.
Welcome, viewers.
Yes. What do you think about the Nigerian democracy?
If you define democracy, you will now understand what Nigerian democracy could mean. Is it democracy by name or democracy in practice? To a large extent, I think that Nigeria practices, or we are in practice of democracy by mere ascribing it to our political play. Indeed, in action, in practice, in reality, we are far from democracy and democratic values. We must revert back to democracy if we really want to practice democracy. We are being told, or democracy is being defined as government by the people, for the people, by the people. We are also told that democracy means majority will have their way, minority must also have their say. We are also told that democracy entails freedom of expression. That means you say what you need to express. Democracy also means freedom of association. You go to where you want to go. It also means freedom to dissemination of information that's subject to some classification or classified things. We're also told that democracy means liberty to yourself, liberty to do things you need to do. We're also told that democracy also means freedom of conscience and also worship, thinking, belief, play. We're also told that democracy is a totality of way of life where you are not inhibited because of somebody does not like what you do or your face or where you belong to. Democracy means also, we are told, does not recognize your class or creed, but rather the democratic principle set out by the people, for the people. But in Nigeria, I will ask you, these definitions, do they rhyme with what we call Nigerian democracy? The answer is quite no. You can see it now, we have what looks like autocracy. We can call it, it was its name democracy, but autocratic in nature, in principles, using democracy as a subterfuge, as a camouflage to do what we are doing. Perhaps the long military reign had made us not to know what is democracy, because in a democratic setting, the constitution, the ground norm is always respected. The ground norm is thorough. It is the principle upon which democracy plays. It is the rule, the basic rule is the constitution. But here we see flagrant disregard to the constitution. We see flagrant abuse of the constitution itself. Democracy also entails that a third arm of the government called judiciary are independent to say what they've seen. Here, I will go to ask you, is that what we practice here? Are the courts independent? Are they? So, the totality of what I've just said now, you see that the basic ingredients of democracy are lacking in what we practice in Nigeria. But we bear the name.
Okay. Let's just divert a bit to insecurity in Nigeria. Nigerians can no longer sleep, especially from the recent update from the governor of Niger State. What is the House of Rep especially doing about this?
Well, I will even ask you, the House of Reps, are they democratic? Are they practicing democracy? We've passed a lot of resolutions arising from various motions to the effect on insecurity. For the past 2 years, the United Assembly had passed several resolutions. None had been heard to, or they didn't abide to any. I said somewhere that we passed about 100 and something resolutions, and none of the bill. And recently, we saw the shift or change in service chiefs. To me, that was cosmetic. But that was the only thing I knew they agreed, the executive did, was to change after a lot of cry. And I got to know that it was argued somewhere that yes, we didn't give them a timeline when we say change. We didn't say between so month and so month. Insecurity is now the biggest concern for Nigeria. Insecurity is threatening Nigeria. Insecurity is worse than COVID in Nigeria now. People are dying every day. Just open their radio, you'll see 25 killed here, 30 killed here. So COVID didn't kill that much. Yes. But what was suffering from insecurity is enormous. So what are the root causes? What brought about it? And what do we do? It's not just to apportion blame to the House. I'm not absolving the House though. Okay. But the House also, I make good to tell you here, lacks the political courage to tackle insecurity. The House or the National Assembly, every day we saw a day he cry at the floor of the Senate. The next day, his colleagues started attacking him. Must you say it that way? The man spoke passionately, emotionally, addressed insecurity, and called that we should even shut the doors of National Assembly and go home the way we did at the time of COVID to go and battle insecurity. He spoke from his mind. So you begin to wonder whether National Assembly, whether we have the political will, courage, not just with the will and the courage to address the causes of insecurity.
So the 40-man committee.
40-man committee?
Yes, created by the House of Representatives to look into insecurity. What should we expect from them, and what are these members going to do?
I see the House as a hallowed chambers. I see the House doing their best. But if I may ask you, what 360 couldn't do, will 40 do it? I don't know. I'm thinking aloud. I'm not saying I lose faith in them. I think that committee was drawn up from the geopolitical zones. Committees, yes, but this will have past time of committees to address insecurity that's staring at our face. You can only defend the house from outside. The moment you run into your house to defend that house, you've lost that house. It's like the federal government is not defending the federal government from inside the house, inside Abuja, going by the analysis of the Niger State man, the governor. He said, their flags are all there. And asked us a question, how many hours to Abuja?
Less than 2 hours.
So, where are we? This is something, including the journalists, the press, the politicians, everybody must put hand on deck to fight insecurity. I think the thing we need to do is to have a national discourse on insecurity. Not committee thing. I may go to say the write-ups and resolution of the 2014 done by the Constitutional Conference. Where are the report? Nigeria sat down and discussed. Can't we have that report and implement them? Or implement some of them? Because if we had done those reports, insecurity would have been a thing of the past. At least, you assuage those who are aggrieved, who are agitated. Find out why they're agitated. What is their reason? What do we do? I think that conference report addressed them. What is keeping that conference report? So I think that the Parliament, the National Assembly, should seek that. Is it that we do not know the existence of that? Is it that we do not know that Nigerians came and discussed it? That was the only last attempt for Nigerians to discuss. So we need to come to a roundtable conference and talk. What will in your own opinion now, what will the committee do? The committee, after doing their work, which I know they will do well, will still bring it to the floor of the House for ratification and adoption. So it still falls back to the same thing. So are we postponing the evil day? Are we buying time? I'm thinking aloud. I'm just thinking. I'm not saying in the wisdom of the speaker, he considered that committee maybe to narrow down the scope of work the House will do. But we don't need to waste more time. We should go into action immediately. Insecurity is at stake. Look, there are going to be food scarcity resulting from insecurity. Farmers can't go to farm to produce the food. Employment is going to worsen because some factories can't work. Investors are flying away. It's paralyzing, like COVID, it's paralyzing economic activities, health activities, social activities, every activities, just that it does not encourage social distance. People are running together.
Like
yes. But otherwise, it's tearing us apart.
Let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. So welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's Democracy in Action with Honorable Nkem Abonta. So, Honorable, by the end of this month, the president will be 6 years, in the second tenure, 2 years in office. What can you say about it? Assess the government so far.
Assessment of the Buhari-led administration for the past 6 years is a very difficult one too. Will I assess him based on his promises or what he did? I will want to use economic indices, infrastructural indices, employment indices, political indices, and democratic values and his promises to assess him. His cardinal principles they campaigned with was corruption and security. I will challenge you to provide me the answer, the percentage rate. Have you seen the international rating of corruption in Nigeria? It's gone higher. Internally, we also see corruption is not only dipping hand in the coffers of government. Corruption is sharing the national cake wrongly. If you favor some section against that is corruption, appointments, nepotism, favoritism is all species of corruption. Corruption is a big father with several children, of which stealing government money is part of it. But there's more that undemocratic practices is corruption. Disobedience to law is corruption. How far have we fared in that 6 years? You give me the answer and tell the public. 2, insecurity he promised us. Insecurity means, like you said, we don't sleep with our eyes closed again. Compare the past 6 years, how we slept before the 6 years, and how we're sleeping now. You tell the public the answer. Then you can assess him. Now, totality of his governments, we had not recorded, if we had recorded any milestone in advancement, we have done 7 steps retrogression. The 6 years is a 6 years of marching backwards and not forward. And I make bold to put the indices. Before he took over, let me go internationally. Before he took over, dollar stood at 160. For years, 160. I don't know the magic Okonjo-Iweala did. The stones which the builders rejected, today they are the head corner stone. Today, dollar is what, 480. So now, the assessment will now be based on 160 dollar then and $4.80 now. Look at the percentage of retrogression. That's how I can know it. Unemployment, look at the percentage then. Look at the percentage now. That is be the percentage of the assessment. Inflation then was about 5 to 7%. Now it's 30 to 40 something percent. When you compare it and contrast, you can now know the percentage of his assessment. Democratic values, you can now, who obeys God and all whatnot and so on, you can now look at his assessment. What are the people on the street now? Are they now saying, say Baba anymore? What is it? And no wonder, correctly or falsely, people are calling Jonathan to come back, including APC. I hear they are waiting him to come and run president again. Is it not surprising to us that all the top persons who worked for Jonathan got international work jobs as they left office? Let me just call Okonjo-Iweala, for example. And I was of the view 2 years ago that they should please approach these people to come and help him. His first tenure, it took over a year to boot before he appointed ministers, and so it took over a year to boot. A computer that couldn't boot that long, then it's not a good system to work. It will crash. That's why I knew that it's not going to work. Can we not now say that that system is crashed? Calling for an assessment is just to buy time in your platform. We all know the assessment. The thing is that what do we do to remedy the situation? What do we do? According to is it Fayosho, who said we must retrieve Nigeria. We must salvage Nigeria. It's something we must all jointly do. The change, he used to tell us, must begin with us. But I will now say, retrieving Nigeria must start by us.
Let's just divert a bit to insecurity in Nigeria. Nigerians can no longer sleep, especially from the recent update from the governor of Niger State. What is the House of Rep especially doing about this?
To some extent, and to a great extent, state of emergency on security matters. But we must be careful when we call for state of emergency. In implementing the state of emergency, we do not lose our fundamental human rights given to us, granted by the Constitution and by God. We should be careful. The implementation must be well spelled out, even though the Supreme Court has given a decision somewhere on what is the practice and meaning of state of emergency. But where we are lawless, where we have executive lawlessness, we should be careful on state of insecurity. It must be well defined about the modus and the scope of operation and the meaning intended before you put it. But whether we need it to say insecurity is now a problem, security had failed, the security architecture should be redrawn. Therefore, let there be state of emergency. State of emergency presupposes that there's something wrong here. So let us do abnormal things to get it right. There's no community that do not know strangers. So we should call everybody out to do security. That's area I say community policing, state policing, national policing, lock up the boundaries to some extent, check the boundaries. So how come the boundaries are so porous? You don't even know who is in Nigeria and who is coming and who is not coming in. So the challenges are so much that it's overwhelming us because of the rudderlessness of the leadership of policymakers. They have no clue. PDP addressed a press conference the other day and saying that the leadership should wake up to their challenges. If they are confused, they should tell us they are confused. Of course, we are seeing it. We don't need a soothsayer to say that you can't point a particular single man who is in charge or helm of affairs of governmental exercise in Nigeria.
Okay, sir. So let's talk about you. You sponsored a bill in 2019 for the completion of Ajakuta Steel. How about the bill? Tell us more about it.
Fine. That bill suffered executive lawlessness. If you know the history of Ajakuta, you will weep for Nigeria. Why are we short of insecurity? Why are we talking about hunger? Why are we talking about unemployment? When that gigantic elephant program is there. Before this time, it was given to some Indians and all whatnot. Why can we not complete it when we know it will solve our problem? Rather, the raw materials are being carted away until recently. I brought that bill because if you see the same time in Malaysia, and Asian Tigers had the same model of Ajakuta built the same time by Russians. There is employing 75,000 persons. There is producing the kind of ton of iron. Check around you. You don't do anything without steel. Check around you. You can do nothing with steel. This building is of steel. The vehicle is steel. Everything is steel. It is a critical sector. If you check the quantum and volume of steel being imported into Nigeria, you will see that we needed about $1 million or thereabout. No, about $600 million to complete Ajakuta. Yet we pay volume of money, 101 million times over above that to import. There's a cartel sitting on it. And again, because some persons wanted to buy it under the name of privatization. So I put out a bill first to delist it from companies that should be privatized. Because they want to sell it. I am able to say, all the companies that were privatized, how far? Did they fare well? I can name them one by one. How can we spend billions of naira, billions, to build a project? We'll sell it hundreds of thousands to some persons. The principles of those privatizations, how they were bought and sold, leaves volume to talk. But I pray that one day, a government will come, a set of people will come and begin to dissect and mirror what those privatizations meant. The processes that were, who got them, what are the processes? You weep for Nigeria. You weep for Nigeria. Well, I am from Okwa, East and West Federal Constituency of Abia State, and the only oil producing local government in Abia. But oil is a cause. Well, for my people, I will say I am close to them, I work with them, I share their grief, and I try in my own little way to bring out the giants in them. We'll say we'll do empowerment, but I don't believe that everybody should be made an Okada ride empowerment. I try to bring the giant in you. I try to make you see how you can survive yourself. I try to let you know that you don't depend on government for survival. Self-help, create job. And I will tell them, stop looking for employment, look for work. Develop something you can do for yourself. All you need is a push. So I run an entrepreneurship school where I can train you. Some years ago, people didn't know that a jester could earn money. What do you call them? Comedians. Nobody knew that a comedian can make money. Today, you even pay up to $1 million to get an MC to anchor your program. So talking is money, for example. You must. It's a skill. It's an art. So everybody has got something in you. Today, football is a big money. People didn't know you could use football to get money some years past. Just like music, entertainment industry. If you can sing, come. Including tailoring. Tailoring is a huge industry that will never go with women. Fashion, whatever. It will never go. So you don't just buy a machine to somebody say, having a machine. You must learn that thing very well. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we're in a system that is not helpful, an educational system. Abroad, their educational curriculum, you could have textile courses, which include fashion and designing. Some caliber designers alone, the designers will sew, color mixing and so on. It's not there in our polytechnics. So I try to use those ways to teach them how can you survive on your own, including agriculture. Agriculture is my main area. I teach people. I run a revolutionary agriculture. Say you can. So if I'm going to give you a keke or keke truck, I will put you in the area you use it for agricultural purposes, so that you can add value to it. You can add income to it. I don't give you what makes you dependent again. on somebody, yet you say you're empowered. No. I make bold that using NASA microfinance, I will deal with them. We've made a lot of progress in area of agriculture, area of entertainment, football, name it all, that can make the youths vibrant, stand on their own, and be meaningful, including clothes, shoemaking, and all whatnot. We do. So there's no idle moment for you. If you want to be, it's true that you may not be very, very rich, but you will not lack food. With what I try to do. What's the point going to look for a government job you're paid 40,000 a month? When, I'll give you an example, a mudi of granite used to be 500 naira. If you fry it very well, whether I use sand or gari, you'll get 2 bottles or 2.5. Each bottle costs 600 naira. So why will you be waiting for when you can sell up to 5 bottles a day? Why will you be waiting for government work that will pay you 40,000 at the end of the month? When if you sell that granite at the end of the month, you have your 30,000 naira plus something you can eat up to and have your time and liberty. You can do a lot of things. So we should change our educational curriculum to add skill acquisition to it. China demolished 600, not demolished, they scrapped 600 universities and changed them to polytechnic, where they do technical things to help them. In Nigeria, we're building more universities with no technical school. What happens to those technical colleges used to have? So what I do in my constituency, I'm close to them. I give them the best advice that can help them succeed. I go home every weekend. I work in my constituency office every Friday, Saturday. This trying time open their eyes very well, particularly as 2023 is very close. They should subject every politician to their past. Where are you coming from? What have you done? What's your antecedent? What is your ideology? They should be careful about voting. We should not vote along religious sentiment. We should not vote along tribal sentiment. We should vote on pure conviction. Otherwise, we will still remain where we are. We need to get up on that. I also tell Nigerians, I'll beg them to also be patient. Let us see what we will do. I also tell Nigerians to join us, to speak out and condemn evil. If good men keep quiet, evil will keep thriving. We shouldn't keep quiet. We should. But I wish them well. I wish Nigerians well. I believe and pray that Nigeria shall be great again. That Nigeria should rise soon. We should be great. This affliction we brought by ourselves, we will redeem ourselves. We will redeem ourselves. I thank Nigerians.
So we've come to the end of today's program. If you're just joining us, you can still follow us on the social media handles scrolling on your screen. My name is Comfort once again. Take care and God bless Nigeria.